Yeah.
Iva, should we take a look at some of those charts?
Oh yeah. Right. The charts.
Oh, you want to start right away?
Yeah. Let's get down to business.
All right. Well, I guess we wanted to, we were a little bit just angry about you guys leaking our video. And I mean, it's fine. We're over it now, but we were hoping that you would sign this contract.
Well, I'll have to read it before I sign it.
Oh, okay.
Is the text backwards?
No.
I can read it loud and clear.
Yeah. Huh.
What does the last line say?
Favorite sex move?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to my lawyer, but get back to you on that one.
We'll fax it over.
Fine, fine. You can have some time.
We're really sorry about the leak.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of a HR was going a bit crazy with it, so you know how it is.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah. I mean, I figured out this corporate value though that might bring us, make it seem more community oriented. So
Control here.
I think this should probably be our main corporate value. We make money together.
We could get matching shirts. Can I see that again?
Yeah.
I like it together.
Yeah. Do you think it's effective?
Yeah, I think that's a really robust kind of model to drive profits.
I think we should send it to some test markets and then see how they do.
The potential impact could be huge.
Yeah, you got to think about foreign markets too.
I think it would be really well overseas.
Can't forget about those foreigners. Yeah. You guys are crushing it. You guys are crushing it so hard. This is how hard you're crushing it. This is just, I just needed to say that.
Can I see that again? Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
So nice. Well, I feel like we should get this thing going. I think we got a couple people here. Yeah, welcome everybody to our confidential meeting, Lino Kino's confidential meeting with Amy and Iva as part of the Open Video Call 2020 with the ICA. Thanks so much to the ICA for giving us this opportunity, and we're so excited to present Amy and Iva Inc. This week. And you want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Amy Frear.
I'm Iva Yas.
Great. Well, before we jump into this conversation, just a word about the closed captioning service. If you're watching this on a computer, you can find a button to follow along with closed captions at the bottom of your screen. And I believe if you're on your phone, it would be on the top of your screen. And then at the end of our conversation, a brief poll will pop up about whether or not you use that service. So.
Thank you. And before we forget, we should introduce. My name is Matthew Ober, member of Lino Kino. So Lino Kino is a Philadelphia media arts collective, and we curated this year's Open Video Call with the ICA. And Maya, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Maya. I'm also a member of Lino Kino.
Great. Well, yeah. How are things going? How was your weekend?
Great. I was just thinking about how to make more money. So I was wondering if maybe we do this. I have some workers, and right now they're underexploited, but I think they need to be overexploited in order to make a profit, right? Duh, I didn't think about that before.
Yeah, I can see the smile kind of turned into a frown.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion in that second figure. I'm just thinking about how you can achieve that in your business model.
You just make them work real hard. I think it's actually pretty easy to exert this power over them. Anyway.
I went on a bike ride this weekend.
Oh, nice. Where'd you go?
I just went around this city. It was kind of strange to be like homesick for a city you live in, you know, just not getting out as much as I used to. So it was nice to ride around and see everything
Very nice.
and think more about.
Are you both in Philly right now, taking this call?
I'm in the suburbs. It's really chill. It's really cozy. I hear the crickets every night, all night long.
Nice.
Great. Well, yeah, so do you guys want to talk a little bit right off the bat just about your video and how you made it and the time period during which you made it and how it all came together, or move into your presentation?
Yes, sure. I think, Iva, you've prepared some digital slides.
Right. So I'll go ahead with that. Okay. Let me just share my screen.
PowerPoint.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
So we call ourselves Amy and Iva. There's a cute picture of us.
Yeah.
So we're both from Pennsylvania, but we both kind of have been traveling around studying. I have a BFA from the Maryland Institute College of Art in Baltimore and an MA in contemporary art from the RCA in London. And then Amy, do you want to explain your background?
Yeah, I have a background in theater and film. So I studied my MFA in acting. Yeah, I'm an actor and I teach acting. I'm an adjunct professor as well.
Yeah. And so we both took an experimental comedy class together in Philadelphia, and that's how we met. And so this video is Amy's final performance at the end of the class. If you want to, I guess I should just hit play, shouldn't I?
Yeah, and you might have to make it bigger then. Might be a way.
And okay.
Hey everybody. I had this experience lately where I had to admit that my hands were too weak and small to do something. I was trying to unload a Glock, It was for a movie. This finger had to push this thing down for the magazine to, and my hands were just too small and weak. I once had I had a student, and the student wrote on the student feedback and evaluation forms that I was a bit of a dormouse. I knew what they were talking about, but I Googled dormouse to see if there was anything positive I could take away from that.
Yeah, so that was my first experience doing like a stand-up routine. I had never done anything like that. And although I have done a lot of acting and experimental theater and devised theater and things like that. But yeah, I think it was after this show, Rachel, we didn't even really get to talk much during the actual class, but I think it was after this show that we decided we wanted to start working together.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you had heard of a comedy show that I had done in the past.
That's
And,
great.
yeah,
I heard about my good friend Christina Gesualdi told me she saw parts of your Caterpillar show, which I think those are the slides that are next.
yes, that's right.
Yeah, so I had heard about this show, although I didn't realize it was you when I had first met you.
Amy, I just have to ask, what is a dormouse? I've never heard that.
Oh, maybe I should share my screen now. Rachel, do a Google search for a dormouse. It's like one word, D-O, or it's like, yeah, that's a dormouse.
Oh, it's just it's a real mouse?
It's a real mouse. It's spelled D-O-R-M-O-U-S. It's a small rodent. Yeah, that's what I was to a student.
And I think we related to each other because we're both kind of dorm mice. Like, we both like just being kind of subtle and quiet and just a little bit mischievous.
Yeah, it seems like there's some interesting stuff in that description of the dormouse there, that they're good at climbing. And
Yeah, there actually are a lot of positive things about dorm mice. There wasn't at like midnight when I was by myself alone in my room reading my student evaluation forms.
Oh.
It didn't feel as nice. So y'all made me feel much better.
Oh, so yeah, before I get into the comedy show that I originally performed, I just wanted to give some background of how I got to comedy. So when I guess I'll play this while I'm talking, because there's no sound. Or never mind, there is sound. So this is a video I made years ago when I was working in California, and I was 3D scanning people as a job, and it was very much a service-oriented job, and I was just suffering a lot from that job. Like, it was whenever you're working like in a situation where you're providing services to someone, like, it just, to me, it felt like this kind of like masochism and like a slow death of my ego, to be dramatic about it. And so, yeah, I felt like I was working as this anonymous representative of a company with minimal differentiating traits. Like, I was just, I didn't really have an ego, like I wasn't supposed to have an ego. And this video is kind of, I call it a final kind of surrender, like making myself feel sorrow for leaving this job. So this is me in the cubicle where I used to work with my partner dripping eye drops into my eyes. And then the next slide, I guess, okay. So yeah, even as a child, I think I had this subconscious interest in suffering and the potential for it to give rise to a humorous situation. So this is a short clip of me when I was about maybe 7 or so at my birthday party. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Let's see if I can find it. Is it in there?
It was. I saw it earlier.
Yeah.
It's after the one we just watched. Rachel, it just looks like a blank screen.
This one?
Yeah, slide number 7.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so here it is. Who knew this would be so difficult?
This is just like in the 80s.
A big gigantic tree fell down on a castle, and the king and queen got buried.
Wow.
That's great.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe I was the funniest when I was a kid, but anyway. So yeah, and then I ended up going to art school, and I always knew that I wanted to be an artist. I love art to this day, but the school itself, I realized, particularly like in graduate school, colleges and universities are just kind of, they're a broken system right now. Like they're very profit oriented. And I was pretty lost, like conceptually. I felt like we were all being too serious with our art and not just having fun. And I think fun is an important component in art making. And that is when I became familiar with the term bear art, which was coined by Gregory Cholet in his book Delirium and Resistance, Activist Art in the Crisis of Capitalism. And he calls this term art deprived of all symbolic effectiveness, reduced to merely another resource to manageable and minimal data. And in other words, like the art is just becoming this kind of object that can be sold, you know. It's just monetized. It doesn't really have a soul anymore. And so what you're watching now, this is me just kind of making visualizations of the theory that I was reading in that book, because I was pretty obsessed with it at the time, because it really clarified a lot for me. So at that point, I decided that I was just done with this trend of bear art. I decided that I just want to be silly through and through, and all the while continuing to work with these underlying themes of dread and neuroticisms. And so this is a picture of my first comedy show called This Caterpillar Wants to Give You a Kiss. And it's 100 funny drawings that I presented over 30 minutes. And each drawing is a punchline or a kind of joke. And I perform that in Philadelphia and in London. So I'll just go through a few of the drawings. And sorry for zooming out here, but so this is a flower that looks particularly beautiful in the moonlight, and this is a man who looks particularly like a drunken mess in the moonlight. And this is a very lonely person, so to get attention, he hits tennis balls out of the court all day long. This is a camel that got its hump removed for cosmetic reasons, but now it's having an identity crisis because the other camels just pass right by it without realizing he's a camel too. This is someone talking to their therapist because they really like eating lemons in public and they're self-conscious about it. These are places where people are told they're doing a good job, but they're actually not. Yoga class, executive boardrooms, and kindergarten art class. This is a cat clawing at this person's papers while they are trying to do their taxes, and the person is angry, but the cat is like, what's the difference? You were going to evade them anyway. These are two woolly mammoths passing notes to each other, and one of them is like, we can't do this because the notes will get buried in the ice and people will find out about their secrets thousands of years from now. These are cigarettes that actually only make you cough when you are about to say something inappropriate. And this is a person who has an extreme addiction to origami to the point where no one can leave important documents near them because they will get lost somewhere in the form of a crane or a lotus flower. And this is a train that randomly paused in the middle of nowhere for an unknown reason. And there just happened to be a hitchhiker, and the conductor was like, sure, you can get in. This is a tree that has been blowing to the left for 60 years, but suddenly the wind changed direction and the tree isn't sure if it can bend the other way. This is someone who made a wish that ants don't exist anymore, and their wish came true. And then over here are some anteaters who are freaking out. And this is a martini with the world's largest olive. And no, the customer was not entertained. So that's just a sampling of the 100 drawings that I presented. And then after that was when Amy and I started collaborating on these drawing jokes. So I'll show this video. This first video, it just shows me performing, but the jokes were co-written with Amy. I think the sound is muted on here. Okay, well, you know what? Let's move on to this one and see if this one works.
Find that one on YouTube. Right,
Yeah.
it's on your YouTube page.
Okay, I think this might work.
We're gonna tell you some concepts that you don't know. I don't know why you don't know them.
It's common sense, really.
So, what happens when there's a lot of pigeons on the street? Anybody?
You get a lot of pitch. Duh. What happens when a lot of capitalists get together?
They arrange themselves in a hierarchical pyramid. Obviously. What happens when you got a lot of cheap flights?
The airplanes feel taken advantage of. Assholes. What happens when you have a lot of Bitcoin?
You can afford a lot of party drugs. Nerds. Okay, I'll stop that one there.
Iva, can I ask you about, did you immediately find the connection between your comedy and the drawings, or did those things exist separately and then came together?
I mean, I guess I'm able to write drawings. Write jokes. But I'm a very visual person, so it did just come naturally. Like, I think the very first time I ever made a drawing that was a joke was for somebody's, it was either a birthday party or some kind of gathering, and they wanted me to do a performance, and that was, I'm like, I have one night to come up with something, and I'm like, I'm just gonna make some funny drawings. That's the best I can do. So yeah, it did really come naturally. So yeah, we tried to kind of summarize our comedy and the structures of our jokes. So this is what I came up with here. People and animals doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do, or misinterpreting situations, such as the person folding important documents into origami, and utopias that are ridiculous and impossible, like the cats pouncing on the crotches of cat collars, and finding unexpected similarities between things. Dogs, flies, and seagulls have no sense of personal space. And then more generally, neuroticisms like the camel that removes the hump for cosmetic reasons. And then absurd arguments. If I ask, can I get a glass of water for you? Or rather, the man asks, can I get a glass of water for you? And I say, no, thanks. I don't like when men help me. And then people, plants, animals, etc., suffering for ridiculous reasons. Like the wind was blowing east for 40 years, then changed direction, and now the tree isn't sure if it can bend the other way. So yeah, there's a lot of overlap here, but it's a lot of, I guess, personification of animals and just people generally being in kind of negative situations, but like kind of flipping it in a way that's absurd in order to make it into something amusing and comedic.
Definitely see that in like the chinchillas in the Amy and Iva Inc. video.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that was actually Amy's idea with the chinchilla, which is interesting. But
yeah, we should talk. We should talk about that process. How we came up with that in a minute.
We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back.
Yeah, so this is just a summary of what I basically just said. And I like to touch on capitalism and socialism and trends in culture pretty frequently as well. Amy, do you want to talk about your side of the situation?
Yeah. So as we can see, personal life, the dormouse comment, always like taking advantage of softness versus aggressive and macho behavior, innocence and fragility, to be sneaky, and regarding situations or ideas with no context of cultural norms, like an alien or child, and a good deal of dread and anxiety as well. So yeah, what I found I really have enjoyed since doing performance and comedy with Iva is using really specific physicality, usually smaller, subtle, but hyper-specific tininess, and playing with duration, you know, just seeing how long you can stay in silence and stillness in a room with people. I enjoy staring at the audience, and I've also really appreciated microphones lately and how soft we can speak into them. And I teach acting for camera classes, and at the University of the Arts, and I work with my students a lot on close-ups and what works in a close-up on film. So I like playing around with that, both in video and both how we can do that for live performance as well, which is actually has a lot to do with the next project that Iva and I are working on.
So yeah, we basically, somehow or another, we settled on worksheets as a creative process. I guess because, yeah, Amy likes to brainstorm kind of in a more social manner, like when we're together, we come up with ideas. But for me, I like coming up with ideas when I'm alone in my head. So this was kind of a compromise. Like we decided to start writing worksheets for each other. And then we would fill them out ahead of meetings that we would have. Yeah, I guess some of the worksheets we explain right here. So the first worksheet was, it came out of a situation where I was supposed to have a birthday party and Amy was asking me about it. And I said, I'm postponing it because I need to accumulate some more friends. And so Amy made this worksheet making fun of me because I had 2 friends. And she said, she asked me questions like about how you're going to make more friends. So what kind of people do you want to be friends with? What investments are you going to make towards making these friends? Where will you meet? And then I fill it out and I say something that is ultimately some kind of joke or some kind of punchline. And then, do you want to explain the next one, Amy?
Well, maybe we should save these since we might play around with them later.
True.
I don't want to give away the answers to our worksheets.
True. Okay.
Should we talk about, let's talk about, maybe we can leave the screen share and talk about a video.
Yeah, we should, we'll gather questions for the end, but just want to say we already got a question or 2 coming in, so we can address those after.
All right, go ahead, Amy.
Oh, well, I'll just say for this video, Amy and Iva Group INC, it did start out as a worksheet, and we wrote it probably in February before the shutdowns with COVID-19. So I think originally we didn't even know that it was going to become a video. It was, yeah, we weren't quite sure what it was going to be yet. But then when everything changed and we shifted to online, and Zoom became a part of our lives, we were like, oh, this is actually a great medium for this.
Originally, there was like potential for that concept to become a performance, or it's so hard to picture now because it fits so well on the Zoom format.
I feel like thematically it just works perfectly as a business Zoom call. Like I feel like it'd have to be totally restructured to be in a live space. But that's
I don't know if I would have thought of a business video call before all this.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That wasn't like in the lexicon, or that wasn't such a popular thing.
Yeah, I mean, so we were always doing live performances before that together, like we were performing at Good Theater in Philadelphia. So shout out to Good. And yeah, and then it was like, oh, we don't have access to that anymore. So what are we gonna do? And that was the clear solution.
Once you decided it was a video and you were going to be recording in that way, how much did that affect your process? Like the way that, I mean, it's a single take, right? So like, how did you prepare to do that?
I think, well, when we do live performances, I feel like it's always just, it can be kind of rough sometimes because we're just like, we're doing it. Like, this is it. We get one chance. We're just gonna, enjoy ourselves. But this video, I think we did about 30 takes because we just got really obsessive. I don't know. Why do you think we got so obsessive this time, Amy?
Doing anything in one take is really hard. And there was, just with any performance, there's an adjustment you have to make between performing live in a room with people and then performing for a lens. I know that I feel like I was struggling with that a little bit at first, becoming a little hyper aware of, okay, this is a whole different thing than performing up there on stage or just with a lot of people around. But yeah, I remember I didn't understand at first why we had to have why we had to do it all in one take. I was like, can we do some editing? But Iva was right, because yeah, it's a Zoom call. There's no breaks, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I don't know. I really wanted a single take, and we even got a single take at one point, but Amy was like, no, wait, we need to do it again. It's not right. So then, like, even after we managed to get a single take, Amy was like, we need to do it once more just to make sure it's perfect.
That's so amazing. That's like definitely something that struck me like right away watching it. Like the fact that it's all in one take and you're kind of waiting for a cut, but it just never comes. That's so great. And it makes sense because you guys, or at least Amy comes from like performance, and you guys both perform. So I feel like it's like interesting to take that like performance ethic into video of this, like, having to get it in one without using editing. I think that's really cool.
It's like this sort of grounding structure to like the rest, it's such an absurdist piece and everything else is like so crazy, but having it feel believable in the sense that it's unedited and feels like it could be a leaked video conference recording rather than like a constructed piece works so well against like all of the more outlandish elements.
Right, yeah. Like all the like the awkward silence, awkward pauses of like an actual Zoom conversation. And like yeah, that's so great.
And the process, it takes place on Zoom, and we're also using Zoom to make it. So after every take, we're recording it on Zoom, and then you have to log off and let it download, and and then watch, and then log back on to Zoom, come back into the meeting room. And this was all in the first month of the shutdown. So we were definitely getting to know Zoom very well, and it was so new and like, what is this? What can we do with this?
Yeah, and I guess before the pandemic, we were coming up with skits like every 2 weeks and performing them. And then when everything shut down, I think we still had that momentum going, and we're like, we got to do this. And like, how are we going to do it? And so then we're like, okay, we're just going to do it on Zoom.
And you guys have started new things since then too. So I guess I'm wondering if they're also like living in the Zoom world somewhere. I don't know if you're ready to move into talking about.
Yeah, no, we can. This actually, our new piece lives in the close-up world. So we were thinking about something we can do that we can film at home, that we don't need lots of other people or things for. So we've been playing with the close-up against a white wall and playing with let me pull this up. I can show you a little bit of it. This will be like, so this is something that we're going to turn into a bit of a practice. You'll see what it is, but I'm going to show you two pieces of it. But this is something we're just planning on continuing to do and accumulating as much as we can. So I'll show you a bit of this. Share screen. And a password.
Okay, you're gonna want to sign right
So
here.
the volume will be very light on this right now.
Sign right there. And you're going to sign up here. And here as well. Pens out of ink. Okay. Here's a new pen. Oh. And you're gonna need to sign the rest of these. Okay. Do they even know that they're signing all their rights away? Oh, their hand hurts. All right, take a break. All right, I'll get him a cup of coffee. It's the least I can do. Why does this dough hate me? This pizza peel has not been the same since I got spanked with it.
Great. So there's
Yeah.
but so that's just a little peek at that. But yeah, I'm really interested in just like how still we can stay still playing and how close we can get in these videos.
Yeah, and I guess basically we made a massive list of different occupations, and we're just going down the list, dressing up like each one. And we're just really enjoying it. We're like, we just want to make this into our art practice. Like this is, feel like we reached some kind of milestone with this. Like this is going to keep going for a while.
Right.
Are they all gonna be like, will they ever interact with one another, or is it all like sort of these just little glimpses into like feels like an interior monologue type of thing and that really close frame?
Yeah, they're usually an interior monologue close. We've done a few where the other person's hands enter the frame with some business, but I mean, who knows? But right now it's staying just on one person.
Yeah, I guess, well, if we keep doing it, which we probably will, it'll evolve over time, but we don't really know how that's gonna happen.
Right. I love how it's like, it's really like using the close-up, or you like using that kind of film language to like cut parts out of the performance, because it feels like there's so much happening that we're not even seeing, or that we're like it's like
location, like setting.
Yeah, location, and like in the first one, like you were seeming to be interacting with someone, but it's like kind of denying the audience a lot, which is funny.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, that's great. I'm excited to see more of that.
Yeah. Okay, we got like 10-15 minutes left. We might have a couple questions, but did you want to do something interactive with us?
I think maybe, Amy, do you think we might not have enough time to do both? We might have to choose.
Okay.
Yeah, it does feel like we're getting a fair amount of questions in here. If you guys want to,
We have like one or two, but yeah, I mean, how long do you think the game?
A little bit of it, and
yeah, we could do a little bit of it.
yeah. You
All
have
right.
an image,
It's
Iva?
up to you guys.
Yeah, so how do I share this image with you?
You can share screen.
Okay. Share screen. Great, so this is a worksheet that we used in the past for a skit that we made. So this is before it's been filled out. So we want to see if you guys can come up with some jokes with this worksheet.
Uh-oh. Lots of pressure.
Yeah. So this one was after, yeah, so what we did was we wrote some dialogue up here. I say I'm worried about not being likable, blah, blah, blah. We won't act it out right now. But do you want to scroll down, Iva?
Sure.
So basically the concept is here that I wrote this worksheet for Iva. Says Rachel. And then, so, well, okay, give me an example of somewhere you want to be liked. Okay, let's say I'm at a party and I don't know anyone. So then Rachel's line would say, you'll need to be a little blank. It's basically like a Mad Lib or something here, except I guess you know what the text is around it, like you don't in the Mad Lib. So something we like to do, and that we covered in our experimental comedy class with Andrew Jeffrey Wright, was sometimes we think of the first funny thing we can think of for there, and then the second most funniest thing we can think of for there, and then we usually decide to go with, and then we try to go with the third funniest thing we think of to go in there. So,
That's funny.
Maya, what's the first funniest thing you can think of to go in there?
The first funniest? So are you trying to sort of like the first thing that pops into your mind, or are you spending some time like?
First thing that pops into your mind.
Okay, shy. How about?
Be a little shy. What's the next funniest thing you think of?
For the same thought or for the
same thought? If you're at a party and you don't know anyone, you'll need to be a little
sparkly.
And what's the third funniest thing you can think of?
We're getting some audience.
Oh, we're getting some audience participation.
Yeah, help Matt and I out here. Can we catch up with these audience?
Yeah, maybe we'll just have to go with Karen's.
Yeah,
Sexy.
Karen says
you need to be a little real sexy. Is that Iva?
I like it. I think that'll do for the joke.
And but then also a little, if you're gonna be also a little real sexy, maybe then we could go with, actually like Maya's first one, shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little shy.
You like that?
Be a little real sexy, but also a little shy. That's definitely been said before.
That's real advice right there.
That feels like a real one.
Yeah.
Like a Cosmopolitan magazine tip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are there questions should we do a question from the audience?
Yeah, that was an example of our worksheet.
That's
cool. Thanks. So we had a question from John, but I think he said question has been answered at the beginning. Michael asks, has the work of David Shrigley inspired your comedy drawings? And if so, how?
Yeah, I mean, I love David Shrigley. I've been to Sketch, the restaurant where all of his drawings are all over the walls. I guess he helped me realize that even though these are just these sketches, you know, that don't take very long to make, they can be taken seriously. Like they can be acknowledged by institutions. They can be funded through art funding. Like, you know, it's not just like something that people just pass over. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? I guess it gave me some confidence, if anything.
Yeah, like the idea of like a hierarchy of art is kind of starts to be eroded with that, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think David Shrigley's drawings are not as straightforward as mine, which is not, it's not a weakness. I think it's a strength. I mean, his drawings are just very, I feel like they can be interpreted in many ways, and it's not a clear punchline, whereas like I'm a little bit more focused on getting a laugh out of somebody. That makes sense.
definitely. Yeah, definitely both like the sort of simplicity of form in drawing and in art, and then also comedy as a whole sort of genre, like the idea of the hierarchy of art and art being taken seriously, like I think really fits in with both of those things, or has a big place in that conversation. So it makes a lot of sense that it all works together.
Yeah.
Do you want to read John's comment?
Yeah, so I think this is a comment rather than a question. It says, I'm excited by this new work. This is from John. I'm excited by this new work, the work project, especially when the words spoken are ambiguous. They might be spoken out loud, they might not. The close-up shot says private, but some of the utterances are public. Nicely done. Looking forward to more of these. Nice.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
We love connecting with people and we love collaborating. So I made these stupid signs right here. Like, if you want to connect with us, please do, because we love chatting, and we want to see what other people are doing out there too. So yeah.
Yeah, everyone screenshot this quickly.
Yeah, screenshot it. No, it's super nice. It's super great to hear that you guys are like working on a lot of stuff right now. Like, I feel like a lot of people are having like trouble, you know, self-motivating right now because it's, you know, things are kind of nebulous, but like it's cool to hear that you guys are like have found something you're excited about. Like, you're talking this new like process of working, your new new kind of practice. That's really encouraging, I think.
Yeah, it feels like a miracle. I'm really surprised that we like figured out something we both want to do together. Create.
Yeah, it's extra hard when you have to like work or like, you know, contend with two people's like creative impulses. So that's awesome that you guys like found something that works so well. And I mean, it's clear that you guys are just such great like collaborators anyway through the video that's on, you know, the Amy and Iva Inc. video. It was just pretty clear that you guys like work so well.
Collaboration and like what that is like, because I mean, it's great to hear about how that came together and everything, but I feel like it's just, yeah, it really works. It's great.
Yeah, thanks so much for your video, and we're really happy that it's part of the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if anyone hasn't watched it yet, please go on the ICA's website and watch it. And you might see a little thing popping up on your screen right now. It's just a poll about the captioning on this program, so if you don't mind doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does anyone, we have a couple more minutes. Does anyone have any more questions for Amy and Iva? Or anything they want to talk about?
Shout out to my friend Jada Oski, who made these tie-dye pants. He's an excellent fashion designer, so I'll try to feature her on my Instagram, but she's great, and you should ask her to sew you some pants or a shirt or whatever you would like.
Nice plug.
Iva, is Karen your mom?
Probably.
I like that. Thank you, Karen, for the real sexy worksheet.
I hear her laughing in another room right now.
Oh, she's in your, oh, right, because you're
at her
there. That's so funny. Awesome. Yeah, so I guess, I mean, that's about an hour. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or like anything we didn't get to? Any final thoughts?
I'm just so grateful that you guys chose our video, and it's been a pleasure to meet you, and it would be great to get more involved with Lino Kino.
Super excited for potential of working.
Yeah, it's been great to learn all about your practice and your work.
John says, thanks everyone. Love the materials you all shared. Very inspiring. Yeah, I felt the same way. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, for a final thing, I think there's going to be a poll, or there should be a poll in the chat. A post-interview poll for everyone to fill out. Helps the ICA a lot in terms of grant stuff. So thanks again to the ICA for featuring this video and for this whole opportunity of letting us do OVC. It's been super fun. Thank you to Amy and Iva for your video, and thanks everyone for coming
Yeah,
and listening to us. This was great.
thank you, Amy Iva. And this concludes week 6 of OVC. And
Oh yeah.
2 more weeks? 3 more?
Yes, we have 2 more weeks. Next week is Born, Unborn, and Born Again, correct? By curated. And who's doing that?
It will be myself and will be leading that.
Great. So yeah, so tune in next week, same time, 6 p.m. Next Wednesday for that. And then there's one more the week later. And then, yeah, then it'll be it. It'll be over. So sad. But good. Yeah.
You'll do some other stuff in the future, right? Lino Kino.
Oh yeah, yeah. Lino Kino. Yeah, we'll have some stuff happening. And also, I do want to say that the whole OVC program will be actually on loop at the physical ICA on like their screen, like in a window, like after the program is over. So if you want to walk by in person, you can see all the videos, which is really cool. But yeah, nice.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, so nice talking. And yeah, wish you good luck with everything. And hope you profit greatly.
Can't wait to see more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Shop soon. Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good night. Bye.